Eastern Kentucky, where I was raised, where the wildlife and mountains call my name. I was born to hunt, I was born to guide, a camouflage on a rifle by my side. Just good old country boys chasing dreams in the Appalachian Mountains, a field of trees. From those white-tailed bucks strutting toms, the bugling elks they're on the run. Where those dreams are made, the trophies is our game. The TLC Outfitters is our name. The coyotes run all night. It's music to my ears and in my sights. I've got this hunting fever down in my bones. Glad my daddy taught me everything I know. From those white-tailed bucks strutting toms, the bugling elks they're on the run. Where dreams are made, the trophies is our game. The TLC Outfitters is our name. From those white-tailed bucks strutting toms, a bugling elks they're on the run. Where dreams are made, the trophies is our game. The TLC Outfitters is our name. The TLC Outfitter is our name.
Hey everybody, happy Tuesday night and welcome to TLC Outfitters on Air and Outdoors. As always, I'm Trendy and we're joined with Matt tonight. Matt, you about to get blown away down there in Central Kentucky?
We're hanging in here by our toenails and our fingernails, buddy.
I heard that. I hope everybody's staying safe. I know weather patterns have been pretty active today, so hope everybody's in good shape and hunkered down, and hopefully we get through this. Got a pretty nasty cold front coming on the backside of this. Look like it's going to get pretty cold.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's still quite a ways away. Coming into that Indiana, Kentucky line right now, so it's still got a ways to go before it gets all the way through the state.
Yeah. If you've not done so, please like and share this video. Get the word out there about all things on air and outdoors. Here in just a few minutes, we're going to be joined by our special guest tonight, and that's Mr. Hunter Maines from the Burley Company. And we're going to be talking turkey again tonight as we're heading into youth season this weekend, man. I was hoping this real pretty weather, man, was going to hold out. We weren't going to get this big cool down. And, in true spring fashion, that didn't happen. But I still think there'll be probably some good action this weekend.
Yeah, we'll be shoveling snow Thursday morning, I guess. But maybe it'll pass through pretty quick and be some decent weather this weekend.
That's right. We're joined by a few folks tonight. Of course, our number one fan, my mama, says hello. Hope you're doing good this evening, Mom. The Hacienda Hargabus, Mr. Wayne, says good evening, gentlemen. Hope you're doing good down there, Wayne. I'll tell you what, I bet we trade some weather out with you down there. I don't know. It's pretty stormy down there at times, though. Another Floridian, Gator Paul, says, hi, guys. Hey, man. Hope you're doing good. If y'all got any questions tonight, be sure to send them our way, and we'll get them on here. We're going to be joined by one of the best callers that I personally know. Would you agree with that?
I can't give him too much credit.
Oh God!
He learned a lot of what he does from this guy right here. So if I give him too much credit, his head would get too big.
Well, there's a whole bunch of lip action I see backstage right now, and I would imagine it's coming at you. So I don't know what that's all about. So
I got to keep him in check,
yeah. Hey, Miss Lisa, hope you're doing good. Hope you're keeping Wayne in check down there. Evelyn Cox says hi, Matt.
Hey, Evelyn.
Earl Dwayne says, hey guys. That's another turkey getter right there. Got quite a bit to talk about, man. Let's cover some of this stuff right here. Let's talk about closing out the early thermal season. Boy, did you have some action.
I had a pretty good weekend, buddy.
Yeah.
I had a pretty good weekend, Of course, Easter weekend. And, that farm down there has been, it's kind of been bittersweet this year. I was over there one day and thought I'd found me a real nice shed. And when I finally got over to it and started inspecting it and picking it up, I was already looking for the match to it before I even picked up the first one that I seen there. I was looking for the match and figured out it wasn't a shed. It was broke off right at the base. So that was kind of bittersweet, but it's good. And then I thought I found a nice shed, and it turned out to be a nice deadhead, which I don't even think I showed you that yet. Then, get down there and kind of forced myself to go thermal hunt. I was killed out that night. Didn't feel like going, and ended up shooting a pretty rare coyote as a trophy.
Yeah.
And then yesterday, walked out there and found a nice dry land fish. The bittersweet part about that is I only found one.
Yep.
So
let's take a look at the finished product right here, man. So if you can't tell, that's a black coyote, and I mean, like we've talked about, we wish that it was maybe a couple months ago, but I mean, just a good story behind it. I wish I could play the video. This thing's being weird on us and not letting us play video, but tell us about that coyote right there.
Well, first of all, it is extremely difficult to take high quality trophy pictures by yourself at midnight. I just say that's a task, especially when you don't have any light other than what's on your cell phone. So I apologize for that, but I felt like it was pretty good for what I was working with.
Yeah.
But got down there, did some bush hogging down there in that bottom that should have honestly been done 6 months ago, and just now got around to it. I figured, well, I'll get down there and bush hog that, and create me some strutting zones and things like that. So got down there and did some bush hogging, and I got back that night, and I've been doing quite a bit that day, and I was pretty tired. And I was sitting on the couch, and I told Jill, I said, tonight's the night. I said, I need to be down there and thermal hunt because, like I've said in the past, them coyotes, they follow them tractors. They know that when you're out there doing some work, you're creating food for them. And so I just felt really good about going down there that night. So I was slipping down into the bottom, and I seen a coyote. I don't know that it was this one, but I only assume it was. But I couldn't get a clear shot at it. It was kind of moving around. Then all of a sudden, I feel like my thermals kind of went down the hill, and she kind of caught my scent, and she moved off. And so in my mind, I thought I'd already blown my cover there, and I said, well, it's now or never, so I might as well just go on down here and do what I do. So the way the wind was blowing that night, it was going from my right to left. And I said, well, I figured my best situation was to put the call in the middle of the field and then me walk on down to the edge of a creek line. And I felt like that would keep my wind at bay as best as possible the way it was going. And I got down there in the middle of the field, and I started scanning. And I seen this joker at about 600-700 yards. And I don't necessarily have a rangefinder on my scope there for nighttime, but just knowing the farm, it's 600-700 yards to where I first seen this coyote. And so instead of trying to get over to the creek, I just sat down in the middle of the field, and I turned on that X24 cotton team call for it, and I made sure I had it real light. I didn't want it to be too loud and blow him out of the field, so started about a volume 4, and it was like she couldn't hear it. I bumped it up to volume 8, and as soon as it clicked on 8, buddy, she threw her head up, and she was coming. And I was trying to get my video running on my scope. I normally do that stuff on my phone, but I was kind of caught between a rock and a hard place there, and very little time to do anything about it. So got my scope videoing, trying to get set up on that Primo's trigger stick there. And here I was kind of on one knee in the middle of the field, and it come running in, and sure enough, it got to about 250 yards or so, and it caught my wind, and it locked up, turned around, started the other direction, and I let my crosshair settle in on its shoulder, squeezed off, and rolled her out there right at 275 to 300 yards. So, of course, at this time, you don't know. It's a night stalker, but you don't realize that you're hunting a shadow. And when I finally got up to it and realized that it was black, I was so super excited. It was solid black. And then, by the time you get home, you get into good light and everything, you realize that the hide was, it's March the 31st, or was it the 30th or 31st? 30th that I shot this thing. And if this would have been a middle of January coyote, it would have been something special.
That's right.
But
yep.
But a good experience, and it's just goes to show that sometimes if you push just a little bit harder than you think you can, because like I said, I was in no, I had no desire really to go that night. I was tired. I was ready to go to bed, and I made that extra push. And let me tell you something. This thermal game is a 2-man game, and you know this, Trendy.
Oh,
there's a lot of equipment, and hunting this farm here, it's a monumental task to get down there, hunt this area, and get out. We're talking a lot of ups and downs, and it's just night hunting by yourself is
pretty tough.
It's tough on you.
Yeah. Congratulations, man. That is an awesome dog right there, and a good way to close out. Now, I'm going to tell you something right now. I know who taught you how to call coyotes, and that man's getting ready to join us here in just a few minutes. So for you to say, you taught him everything, I can tell you right now, I can see, and the proof is in the pudding. Every time we have been out, we are 100% on calling coyotes. And when I say calling coyotes, I don't mean the specs out there 400 or 500 yards. I'm talking about in your face, up close, really too close, as we found out at 20 yards last week. Up close, right there. Just legitimate, just action-packed. And, whether it's that call or whether it's everything Hunter Main's taught you about calling coyotes, dude, it's awesome.
I gave him a little credit last week, and but that's probably not going to happen today.
Yeah. Before we bring him on, I want to we got one little thing here to cover. I say little thing, it's a pretty big thing. Our buddy Scott Sumter right here, one of Florida's finest FWC officers right here, says if Trinity calls somebody a good caller, then I know he's a world-class caller, and he is, man. He is. Hunter Maines is on. And you've been known to call a little turkey too. I always like to say, words are words, and and action is action. But when you pull this right here, I mean, I think you pretty well can count yourself as a world-class caller too there, Mr. Sumter. Congratulations, man. This is our buddy Scott Sumter coming in today with that 410 Tuffy right there. Got it all on video. I got the video on here.
Hey,
Scott,
take that comment down.
It won't play. I got to fix it up. But, I mean, just an awesome hunt. Look what a tail fan, man. And in the video, I'm telling you right now, man, in the video, this turkey looks like it is all that big red, white, and blue noggin. I mean, I've never seen a turkey with a noggin like this thing. But just an awesome turkey. I got the specs right here on it. He said that this thing is, and I'm sure this is an Osceola, 16.7 pounds, 9 3/4-inch beard, 1 1/2 and 1 3/8 hooks. So that's a good spurred turkey. And a little thin. Of course, these Osceolas, depending on where you're at, some of them are a little bit smaller. So just great Osceola, Scott, and couldn't happen to a better guy, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, good deal, Scott. Good deal.
Yeah. Let's bring on another guy here. Knows what he's talking about in the turkey woods. Mr. Hunter Maines, man. How's it going?
Good, fellas. How about yourselves?
Doing good, man. You gonna let Matt talk all that trash about you?
Yeah, I am. I'm gonna let him.
Yeah,
buddy. I paid you a little compliment last week. I even tried to pay you some royalties, but y'all always hard on me.
What compliment did you give me?
Buddy, I said that you was the one responsible for downloading all them calls, helping me out get that X24 set up. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all right. Not really a compliment, I don't think.
yeah. Wayne Hardman says, congratulations to Scott and Matt. So, man, we're here to talk turkey. We've been the last 2 or 3 weeks, we've been getting pretty excited about turkey hunting. I know you're pretty hard on the turkeys yourself. And, we've talked about your company before, the Burley Company, but really and truly, man, you've kind of taken it to the next level with some new stuff and a lot of things. I want to talk about your new products. I want to talk about turkey calling strategies. Don't know if you got any turkey calls with you. I'd like for you to sound off on a few. I want to talk about, everybody knows the Yelp and the cut and all that. I want to talk about that fine detail calling tonight. So you just kind of take it away, man. Tell us about the Burley Company and what y'all got going.
Yeah. So this year I partnered up with 2 good buddies of mine. Austin Norton and Kyle Scott are their names. We went ahead and purchased some new equipment. We've got some lasering stuff. We've got some all new, heavy duty equipment and stuff. We're getting stuff cranked out. And it's allowing us to crank out stuff at a much faster pace. The quality of the calls is being more standardized. So we do have the ability to custom make every call still for you if you want something like that. But we do have a lot of standard calls now at this point. We're making an inventory. We're getting stock. We've got a website up. If you want to go to the link, it's www.burleycocalls.com. And that's a work in progress right now too. We've got most everything up. We're working on sound files. We're working on adding new lines and stuff. We've got some apparel. We've got some hats like I've got on here. Trinity's got one on. We just got a new shipment of hats in today too. So we'll have some new ones up on the site this week, hopefully. So that's what we've got going on here.
I don't have a hat.
You didn't pay me, so.
And I would imagine that just like how, and I just, I don't want to bring up old wounds. I don't want to reopen old wounds, but I imagine how you've treated Hunter and you've treated poor old Wayne Hargibus.
Oh my God.
I'm surprised that Wayne and Hunter are even joining us tonight.
Yeah.
It's not because of Matt.
I gotta admit, I've probably been a lot harder on Hunter than I have Wayne.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. Now, we got this cold front coming in. Before we get into this calling, I want to talk a little bit about this weekend, youth season. A lot of people going to be focused on youth season. We've talked about youth season. Hey, Justin, hope you're doing good, buddy. We've talked about youth season a lot, and what are y'all's takes on what's going to happen this weekend with this cold weather? Hunter, you start.
In my experience, if it's as cold as they're saying it's going to get, I'd say it's probably going to be pretty minimal gobbling, if I had to guess. I'd say they'll gobble a little bit on the limb, but once they hit the ground, I'd say it'd be not much of anything. I've been watching a bird at work for the last couple of weeks, and he's been fired up the last few days with this weather, but I would say this cold front's going to turn him down, if I had to guess.
Matt?
Kind of what I've noticed is not necessarily the temperature as much. It could be. My thing is, if it's cold and overcast, that shuts them down pretty good, I think. But if it's cold and it's sunny and they can get a spot, a good strut spot to where they can gobble and be seen in that glistening sun, I think they'll still gobble a little bit. So I think a little bit is going to be determined on the cloud cover more than the temperature itself.
Okay. So let's talk about calling strategies, Hunter. So, kind of taking us through, because I do want us to focus on this weekend a little bit and then headed into the next weekend. But, in the past, you've talked to us about calling strategies and everything. So kind of feeding off of that weather forecast and what we think the turkeys might do. Now, we know once we get out there and we see what they're doing, everything's got to change. But let's say that happens. Let's say that there's that minimal gobbling. What is going to be a calling strategy for you as a hunter?
Yeah, normally if I'm hunting, I'm calling. That's why I like turkey hunting so much. And I know people say you overcall and that stuff. Well, that doesn't bother me none. I'm still calling. That's why I enjoy turkey hunting. But if it's cold like that and they're shutting down, I'm probably not going to do much. Probably, some limb talk and some first thing in the morning, but I'm probably going to let those hens determine what I do, try to match what they do. But like I said, you're not going to get a turkey to come to you if he doesn't know you're there. So call away is what I think. As long as you know what you're doing and, you keep in contact with him and he's gobbling back or at least you can get a visual on him, I think. I'm all for calling. But in a cold day like that, I'm probably going to let the hens, whatever they do, I'm probably going to mimic that.
What do you think, Matt?
I'll compliment Hunter here on something. One thing that Hunter is good at, really good at, is that low volume calling. Some people call it tree yelps. But really, it's that volume that you would think you needed once the bird's inside of 75 yards or 50 yards. Like getting him right in your face, finishing him off. That real light, the bubble clucks, the yelps without the rasp, but keeping that nice cadence and things. That's something that Hunter's really good at. And I think that's one reason he's pretty successful. That low volume is something that's hard for a lot of people to accomplish.
That's right. You've already sparked. This is what you do. So our good friend John Partain says, "Grouchy old Wayne," and then Wayne comes back and says, "Non-shooting John William Partain." That's what you do, Matt.
Yeah.
You're like a Baney rooster. Yeah, you're a pot star. You like a Baney rooster. You run in and you get everybody stirred up, and then you back out. And where's Matt? Matt's gone.
Oh boy.
Now, talking about listening to the hens and see what they're doing. We've heard it all of our lives. I mean, Matt knows my dad. His mentality was, oh, you're calling too much. Then he gets out of there, and he's call.
Yank, 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 yank.
Yank, yank, yank. That's right. If you listen to a hen if you have a chance to get, catch a hen, come off roost, she flies down in front of you. If you'll listen real close, and sometimes she's real low, I mean, she never shuts up. She's always making some type of little sound, continuous sound. I've heard them on the limb yelp for, eons. Never, just enough to draw a breath. Do y'all really think that there's too much calling? Honestly, I know it's a stupid question, but honestly, are there too much calling? Are they not? We know there's not enough calling, but are there too much? Can you call too much, or is it more that you're not changing your volume? You're not being realistic in your calling. You're doing you're doing the same thing over and over in the same place. You're not trying. What is it more of?
Yeah, I would agree with that last statement for sure. If you don't have any inflection in your calling to make it sound like you're real, and you got your hen and you're feeding and you're yelping and you're doing other things, scratching the leaves and whatnot. Yeah, it's going to sound monotonous, and they're probably not going to be so interested after a time. But I think if you stay in it and you create a same way with coyotes, if you create a visual for them that makes it sound like there's something going on over there that they want to be a part of, I don't think you can overcall.
Matt.
So my thing is, I've spent quite a bit of time in the woods, and there's been multiple times where I felt like a hunter, another hunter was out there calling. Not every turkey sounds like a picture perfect television, superstar. They all sound different. Hunter and Trinity, when they call, it sounds better to me, but does it necessarily sound better to a real turkey? I have no idea. I think it's really hard for when you're, especially with diaphragms, it's really hard for the person who's calling to really tell how they sound. That echoing going on in your head. But for me, I think it's not necessarily how good you're calling. It's making it sound real. It's moving that sound around. It's changing the volume, changing the cadence, changing, whether it's a cluck or a purr, or a yelp, a small cluck, whatever. Doing all that, scratching in the leaves. Turkeys make a world of noise, and none of them sound exactly the same. And so I think as long as you're incorporating other sounds to make it feel like a realistic activity's going on, I don't think you can overcall myself. The volume, man, I think that's a big thing, is the volume.
Yeah.
If that old gobbler is snuck in on you and he's 50 yards looking for you and you don't know it, and you're out there just yank, yank, yank. He knows you're only 50 yards and you're calling to him like he's 300 yards away. And to me, that's what spooks them.
Yeah, and if you do the same thing over and over every day, just like coyote calling, you'll educate them pretty quick. If you give them the same sequence, same yelp run, same everything, they're going to figure it out.
Yep. I'll tell you what, Hunter, I have to give Matt some credit too. Anybody might be able to say, well, down there in central Kentucky, there's more, ag, and there's more of this and there's more of that for those coyotes. I've seen him work them up here, man, and he's the coyote whisperer, dude. He pulls them dogs right in. I thought they were going to take the call up here. I've got pictures of where they were in the snow versus the caller, and they were on top of it. And it's pretty nice, man. I don't know if you paved the way for that, Hunter, but
nah, they were just hungry. He got lucky. He walked up on a couple hungry ones. They probably had mange.
It was snowy. There was a lot of snow. They were probably pretty hungry. You're right, huh?
Yeah.
We'll see what you do this. We'll see what you get into this summer.
My video man wasn't videoing, or you all would have heard that vocal bark that I threw out there to stop him in his tracks. I mean, I just can't help it that people can't shoot. You know what I mean?
Yep, that's right. That's true. So you got a call there with you? Huh?
Yeah, I've got a few here to show you. Mostly just I've got a couple pots here. I was just going to show everybody what we offer, and I've got a goose call here and an owl call and everything, just some stuff to show off. So what we've got mostly our big pot is our cherry glass pot. It's hard to see in this glare, but obviously you can see. We can read it. We can do the soundboard however you want it. We can put any kind of logo on there. The back of it, we can. On this one, it says, powered by the Burley Co. But we've also got our logo on the back. We've got some with your logo on them. I've got you a set coming out here soon. You can see that right there on the aluminum. It's got your logo on the inside of it. And the back of it says that as well. We've got striker options. I've got Paduke and Purple Heart, and I can engrave those as well for you. So however you want those, we've got those tops on there. We've got the Paduke and that. Like I said, I offer locator calls, owl calls. We got a Bolivian rosewood and Osage. I've got crow calls. And then I've been working on goose calls for a few years. I'm pretty proud of the goose call that we've got offered. I feel like they're pretty good. I've got them narrowed down pretty well. Obviously it's not goose season, but just to throw that out there. And I've got a plethora of mouth calls. I've got a ton. I've got 9 different options of mouth calls. And they're all on the site. I think Kyle just recently updated the website. They all will have sound files on them. I'd run one here for you, but the audio in my house is really terrible. So, I'll give you a little taste of what this glass call sounds like, but so they're screamers. I like them. I feel like they're pretty good calls. Personally, if I'm taking a pot to the woods, which I don't take a pot call very often because I have a tendency to lose everything, and I hate losing stuff that's nice. I like our anodized aluminum and an Osage pot. I feel like it's got a lot of volume and it gets real soft too at the same time. It gives them a sound that I feel like a lot of people don't take to the woods either. I feel like, a glass call, a cherry call, or crystal call. Those are really popular. Slate, obviously. But I will toot our horn here. I feel like our slate call is probably one of the better slate calls I've heard. So I'm pretty proud of that as well. We also have a new thing that we come up with this year. We had a guy, that's good buddies with Kyle, who developed a latex allergy. And so we found some proprietary material, and we have made non-latex mouth calls for guys that have allergies for latex. So if you need a special request on there for that, we have that on the site as well.
Man, just a host of calls, and they're excellent calls. We've been running your calls now for quite a few years, and we've killed turkey from Florida to Tennessee to all over with them, and they're the real deal, man. I really enjoy them.
If people's not been watching the show and they've not heard of Hunter and the Burley Company, just because the website's getting updated and all these new calls coming out doesn't mean that they're brand new to the show. I probably killed my first turkey with one of Hunter's calls, 4 or 5 years ago. How long y'all been making them now?
I would say, yeah, I'm probably making mouth yelpers now for about 5 or 6 years, I would say.
Yeah, and I distinctly remember that I killed that. The first one I killed with one of your mouth yelpers was a muzzleloader kill. So it was probably been 5 years ago.
I tell you what I was impressed with. I sent Hunter a cut that's my favorite cut of call.
Right here.
Yeah, and dude made it, son. And it is not even in the same level of the store-bought stuff. And I still got those calls. That's another thing. You don't think guys buy calls year after year and whatever else. I still got those calls, and I'll be using them again this year. Now, there'll come a certain point where they get wore out and everything, but the durability of these calls it's not going to be a one and done.
If you're a competition caller, you're calling on that thing for hours a day, practicing and this and that, they're probably not going to last more than 6 months. But when you're a weekend warrior like you and I are, I mean, we're calling on that thing, a dozen times a year, really. I mean, there's very little practicing going on and this and that, because we're not trying to sound good to a judge. We're trying to sound good to a turkey, and they all sound different. But if you take care of those calls, if you use the clips to keep the reeds separated, keep them in the fridge, keep them off the dashboard of your truck, those calls will last for several years. Then it's like Hunter said, then you just got to keep up with it and not lose it in the woods.
That's my hardest problem with the pot calls. I'll leave it at the base of a tree and then gone. But I also wanted to show you real fast too. We do laser engraving for people's names on here. So if you guys want something personalized, we've been doing a lot of that. People really like that. We've had a lot of gifts for children, newborn babies, groomsmen gifts, stuff like that. Good ideas for people that are outdoors, people that are having that kind of stuff. We've got the ability to customize your name and stuff on it as well, and dates and stuff, whatever you want on there. So I just wanted to throw that out there for everybody listening.
Yeah. Awesome. And they're not just going to look good. They're going to be, I mean, they're going to sound good. They're going to be around for, I mean, a long time. I had some of my original ones laying here, but I put them in my turkey box the other day getting ready for season. But I really hope people will check that out, man. The Burley Co. And what was that website again?
It is www.burleycocalls, CALLS, like turkeycalls.com.
And that's with an E.
Burley, yes. Yep.
Yeah.
LEY.
Yep. Now, Scott Sumter said, can you laser pictures in the soundboard?
Yep. I can laser anything you want in them. We've got them with, like I said, we can use a wooden soundboard. We've got anodized aluminum soundboards as well. So I can switch them up for you on that. Obviously, they have a little different sound per each one of them. But, yeah, I can laser the back. I can laser the soundboard. I don't have any on me right now, but we also can laser the surface of the soundboard or the call as well. And we can also put them on any other call that they buy as well. I can wrap their name around it. I can put their logo on it, whatever they prefer.
So, Hunter, I want to clarify what I felt like Scott was asking. I think he's looking for a photograph.
Yeah. No, I thought, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah, I can put anything on it. Now, it's got to be, for a photograph, it needs to be high resolution. So it'll have to be very clear. It'll have to be crisp. You send it over to us. We might have to make a few edits and adjustments to it. I mean, I know we made a few with Trinity's logo as well. But yeah, most pictures can be lasered on there. Now, the quality of them coming from a laser from a photo these days is probably not going to translate perfectly, but it should be pretty good.
Yep. Good deal. I want to talk about this. I hope you not put you on the spot. I hope you got a mouth call there you can use. I want to talk about some of this soft calling, these bubble clucks and all this stuff that we're hearing about, man. But let's give us a little run.
We'll probably have to come back to that. Let me get this. Let me throw one in here real fast and let the reeds soak up a little bit, and then I'll let you know when it breaks up.
Hey, we got a question here for you while you're doing that.
All right.
Well, first of all, before we get to his, Justin Tinsley. Need to make a call called the Big Mac and have a pick of Mac taking a bite out of it. Be your top seller.
It wouldn't be our top seller, I can tell you right now, because you put Matt's face on it. Ain't nobody buying it.
I don't even eat Big Macs, buddy.
He eats gas station hot dogs.
Hey, son, he's all about some gas station food. Ain't nobody can take that away. We can tear up some gas station food. That's full show. Hey, Austin Norton said, is that Hunter Maines or Riley Green in that cutoff with those pythons?
Yeah, wow. That's crazy. That's Austin. That's one of the guys that works with me on this too. Yeah. Austin's. I wish he'd not do that.
Oh shoot! Evidently, Jill's not watching because she would have made a comment.
We hear about it all the time, man.
I just turn it into a comedy show, won't we?
Yeah, we hear about it all the time. So, how important is I don't guess I should say how important, but and it's going to probably be hard for you to answer, but we've got guys out there that still aren't on the diaphragm wagon. They don't use mouth calls, and they kill turkeys consistently every year.
Okay.
But what kind of edge does a mouth call give you just instead of using friction calls all the time?
Well, obviously, number one is, you're not moving. You don't have any movement with your hands. Your hands are both free to, work the gun, move, adjust something. But I think, and me personally, I'm not great on a pot call. I've gotten a lot better since I started making them 3 or 4 years ago. But I can't go through all the turkey vocalizations that I can with a mouth call. I can make every vocalization the turkey can make with a mouth call, with the exception of a gobble. I'm not great at gobbling. I've been working on that for like 3 years, and I'm still just not good at it. But I feel like your range of sounds are much greater with the diaphragm, which there again leads to we were talking about earlier, what causes overcalling. If you're using the same old, 5-note, 7-note yelp on a crystal call, and they're going to get over that. You flip it up and do some bubble clucks, do some purring, do some hard cutting on a mouth call. I think you're going to have a better ability to make the turkey's vocalizations.
Yeah. I'm going to show you this right here. I still think this right here is the getter. And thankfully, Hunter, we kind of started working on these. Oh my goodness, boy, you've done it now. Jill Woolwine says I can't get past Hunter's guns hanging out. This is a family show. Okay.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I'm just gonna flash this real quick. But I still think this is right here. Right here. And everybody's gonna know what I'm talking about. Now, thankfully, the gentleman that originally started making these got back into it. And he made quite a few last year. And man, I've got them laid up in there, but I think that this is something we need to visit. Don't want to give all of our, but yeah, Matt's seen it in action. He's seen it in action on 2 generations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, it's so soft, man. It's so soft. I mean, and it absolutely tore those Osceolas up down in Florida.
Yeah. Huge difference from our first trip down to our second trip down. I mean, first trip down, we were in turkeys. Second trip down, we were in turkeys. But the vocalizations of yeah. So, pretty excited.
Yeah, might be something I need to work on in the future. I've got a lot of stuff that we have ideas on working on. So this summer I think is going to be mostly dedicated to making a better duck call, because those do take a long time for our waterfowl guys. But yeah, we've got a lot of ideas that we have to temper, take it slow, because try to do it too much at once, you're not going to get the quality out of it. And the quality is what I care about. I don't really care so much for the looks, though I do think they look good these days. But I want a turkey to be in every call that I send you. So yeah, we'll be working on a lot of stuff. Hopefully have something new.
Yep, pretty excited, man. Pretty excited. So let's talk about this, the whole bubble cluck deal and everything like that. I don't want to say it's new. It's not new, but it's a big rave and big trending thing, and not everybody can do it because they're either not running a mouth call or they can't get it from a mouth call.
Right. So,
what do you have for that?
Yeah, a good mouth call to do that with is something that the way I call has a large cut in it, or that you can run your air down the cut of the call, because when you run your air down the cut of the call, that's when you're going to get the real clear whines and the real clear stuff instead of the rasp. If you run your air down the reed, the top reed where there's no cut, that's where you're getting your rasp at. So you got to find a call that works for you on that. I've been playing with calls for years, so I can adjust my airflow to pretty much to any call that I throw in there. But I prefer a ghost cut or what we just put on the website too, is I called the mistake. I was making a ghost cut one day. I accidentally ripped the latex and it made this huge, ugly hole in the call. But with every call that I make, not calls that I make for everybody, but every call that I make, even if it's ugly, I toss it in there and see what it yelps and sounds like. And, this call is actually probably my favorite call now. It won't win any awards for good looks, but it has a huge open hole right there that I can get a lot of air down. I can kiki run with, I can bubble cluck with. It purrs well, and it still gets raspy on that high end. So, I'll show you what we're talking about when we say bubble cluck. It's just it's a little quick note that goes over the front of that thing. Just a little quick, sounds almost like water falling out of your sink. Sometimes when you get it real soft, it's like. So that's what you get when you get that little cluck, and it's that whine. And if you get real close to turkeys too, you'll hear that when they're contented and feeding. You'll hear that little whistle too, and you can put more inflection in it too. If you get it with like a real soft, like when they're on the limb, it's more like. And it leads into a small, like a tree yelp, something real light. And turkeys, when they're doing that all the time when they're walking, people don't hear it because you're not close enough to them. But when you get a hen to walk right past you, she's making that little sound right there a lot.
Continuously, seems like.
Yes. And, turkeys can hear, tremendously better than us. And they're hearing that. And that just, it sounds more like a real hen to them because, you're getting past those same things that everybody else does, those same yelps, those same cuts. You're just giving them something that they don't hear often from a hunter. So I feel like that helps a lot too.
Especially if you're hunting public land. If you're hunting public land and you can throw that at them because nobody else is doing it.
And it gets louder than you think it does too. Like I learned it from watching Dave Owens videos. And if you don't watch Dave Owens videos, I think you're missing out on a lot of stuff. But you can bubble cluck and you can do it loud. And I mean, it echoes through a holler really well. Like the volume gets up on it and he does it. And it's more like it's more like a normal cluck at that point. It's like. And that's hard for you to hear, but like in the woods, that echoes a long way. And gobblers like to sound off to that because they don't hear it often. And it's just something that a lot of people don't take the time to try because it's not a vocalization you hear often. But it's just like, we talk about coyotes and stuff that they don't hear often. That's the stuff they want to hear because it seems more realistic to them.
Yeah. You gonna be bubble clucking, Matt?
Something like that.
Yeah. See? And I'll tell you something else that's making a bit that's become pretty trendy too are trumpet calls. Which is basically a modernized wooden wing bone call, right?
Yep. Yeah, I don't personally make any. I know some guys that do. I know Matt made some out of a wing bone that looked nice. But I've also never ran one, so I can't speak on them too awful much. I personally think that they have a funny sound to them, but at the same time, that different sound that you're getting out of that is going to be something that turkeys don't hear a lot. So I'd say they do like it.
When I first put that call together, Hunter, that you're talking about, first of all, I made that out of a wing bone that of a turkey I called in on public land for TJ to kill. And I was able to take those two wings. I made him one for a keepsake, and then I made myself one. But the first time I took it to the woods, I mean, you talk about a learning curve, because it seems like all the calls that you do, you're always forcing air out. And with the wing bone, you're pulling air in. And it's really difficult to control it and keep, make it sound like a turkey without a lot of practice. But me and Jill were at a farm, and we could literally look down out 500 yards, and we seen the turkeys. We seen the hens. We seen the gobblers. We could see them all grouped up there. and I would call with just a standard diaphragm call or a pot call or box call. Never made a noise. Stayed in full strut the whole time. Acted like we were not even there. Son, I made one squeak on that wing bone call. He gobbled every single time it made a noise. Every single time. And it was pretty cool. I mean, it made you feel good about yourself. He didn't come across the creek, but if I had to locate, if I was in a locating situation, he gobbled every single time that thing made a noise.
Yeah, a lot of guys say the same thing about a tube call, which, I've never used a tube call either, but there are guys that swear by them.
Yeah, I think like you've hit the nail on the head. Like, I think throwing things at them, trying things that are not standard or not normal, kind of being thinking outside the box a little bit, and the more realistic you can be. What sounds to us like the best calling in the world, may not be the best to them, and I'm sure to them, every hen is unique. So don't be afraid. The worst thing you can do, though, is get out there. And I think, if you're going to say you want to try a new call, don't go from, a mouth call to a pot call to this, to that, whatever. And you still got to be, I always say you got to be a turkey hunter. Don't be just a turkey caller. Turkey calling is a tool you use to help be successful. But don't be afraid to try. And if it doesn't sound exactly, good to you, it's like Matt was talking about. See what the turkey's like. We're not turkeys. We don't know what they like, and they might say, "Man, those turkeys may answer to it every time, or it may be enough to bring them in." Just try it, but be smart with it.
And don't throw those call. Don't throw a mouth call in your mouth the first time, and you not like it, and then toss it. Put that thing to the side. Use it a few times. The more you use it, the more that latex is going to loosen up. The more and a call that you don't like initially right out of the package may be your favorite call 3 weeks from now.
That's right.
Absolutely. I noticed that a lot with that non-latex material. I put it in, it's like, damn, this sucks. And then, I kept playing with it. After about 5 or 10 minutes, I was like, this thing grips. Like, it's a good sounding call, actually, for not being latex.
Yep. Awesome, man. What are we missing, guys? What have we not talked about that we need to cover?
You guys taking youth turkey hunters this weekend?
We got the youth tournament going on, so we'll be running it. I don't know if I'll be taking anybody or not. We got some of our guys that's going to be taking either their kids or taking. I know Matt's going to be taking some hunters. What about you, Hunter?
No, I wanted to. I just, unfortunately, all my friends' kids are little toddlers, so nothing yet.
Yeah. Let's see. What did Wayne say? Wayne said, I heard of him one time that sounded so bad I thought it was another hunter until she came into my decoys.
Every year. I hear that every year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's like old T-Rex, the bull elk. I mean, we thought he was something that sounded prehistoric, I mean, you just never know, so.
He did have a crossbow bolt through his lung, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
That may have made him sound a little different.
That may have hindered him a little bit.
Yeah, I think that would cause some airflow to change.
Yeah. So, well, guys, I'll tell you what, man. Thank y'all for a great show. Hunter, thank you for all of your knowledge, man, and showing us a few things on the call. Well, I mean, I think that a lot of times hunters get frustrated with mouth calling because they don't do it enough, and it's frustrating getting started. You put that mouth call in, and you'll gag on it, and you can't get a sound on it. You can't. I mean, it takes time. It takes time and patience and staying after it. I mean, and like you said, there's a lot of good stuff online now that is is good that you can get on there and try to mimic sounds with. You just kind of got to stay with it.
Oh yeah, people, you can see it too, especially when you start selling calls. People don't start buying them until 2 weeks before season, so they're not throwing them in until they get them. So
that's right. Yeah, and then you got guys like Bo Brooks that plays one like playing a fiddle, and you think that you ought to sound like that. And I tell you what, I like to have a penny for every hour that guy's got on a call. So
it's another good resource online to watch for sure. His videos are excellent.
Yeah. Good stuff.
But he doesn't win any contests.
Not at all.
No, he doesn't. But I mean, granted, I haven't seen him enter any either, but he's never won any for turkeys, at least. He wins every elk calling competition you can find, but yeah, he's a bad man.
Yeah. Got a few things to go before we close. For those of you all, and I'm just going to throw out there Colorado because I got mine in today. Today is the last day. You actually, let's see, Mountain Time would probably put you at about 10 o'clock. You got to 10 o'clock Eastern Time to get in if you're wanting to apply for Colorado. You want to apply for preference points. I got mine in today. Today's the last day to be able to do that. So if you're interested in that stuff, you can get your preference points in today. Early season thermal hunts are over. That closed the 31st of March. But keep in mind, May 16th through June 30th, we will be taking people. If you want to get your name on our books, this is a great time, man. And Matt right there, Matt and Hunter both, but Matt right there has proven to be a pretty good coyote whisperer. So
I'm not going to help you out on the thermals.
Yeah. Get your hunt booked right there. That's a good time right there. This weekend, Strut and Jake's Youth Tournament presented by TLC Outfitters, man. Come spend a weekend with us. Hunting, prizes, calling contest going to be at Ride Direct. Ride Direct on US 23. Registration will be this Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Bring those kids out. Get them signed up. It is free, folks. And we're going to be having 3 different turkey getters, grocery getters in various calibers that we're going to be giving away, and lots of other prizes, including those laser engraved Burley Company pot calls. Some kids are going to go away with those. We got a lot of different things. We got some hats. We've got hunting stuff, a lot of fun stuff. So make sure that you come out and be with us for this. Be this weekend. First weigh in will be Saturday, 11 to 1. And then final, we'll finish up with trophy presentations and door prizes and giveaways on Sunday at 2 o'clock. Better come out and sign up. See us at Ride Direct. And then the big stage, the Kentucky Elk and Outdoor Fest, Kentucky's official elk draw, May the 11th. You need to make plans to come down and be with us. We're going to be down there. 200-plus gun giveaway, elk and moose hunt giveaways, Honda side-by-side ATV giveaway, live music, food and drink trucks, vendor village, and archery range. You can see your name pop up as one of the 500 folks that's going to get a Kentucky elk tag this year. That's May the 11th at the Kentucky Gun Company in Bardstown. Make your plans to be with us. And you got to the 30th to put in for the elk hunt. You better get your name in the hat if you've not done so. What do you think, guys? What you got in closing, Hunter?
I got nothing, boys.
Yep.
We're not very good at closing statements, Trendy. I told you I was going to have a good one for this week.
Yeah, you let me down.
Then I pulled it out for last week, so.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Folks, that's all we got this week. Hope that everybody plans on being out this weekend with the youth. Take a kid hunting, man. Turkey hunting is a good way to get them out there. Look, you don't have to be an expert on it. Just make sure you're following all the rules, regs, license, all that. Make sure you're safe. Get a kid out there. Let them experience a turkey gobbling. There's no better experience than that. Good time to be out hunting morel mushrooms. I mean, there's a lot of things to be in the outdoors right now. So get out there and enjoy. Remember, if you want to know the Creator, look at the creation, man. And God's given us so much to be able to enjoy and see. And man, spring right now, the wildflowers popping. You get out there, the sights, the sounds, the smells. And there's no other feeling like being outdoors on a warm spring day. It's just right. There's no other season like it. So I hope y'all will get out there. Send us those youth harvest. Send us those pictures and let us post them. We will we'll put them on here and have a good time with them. So good luck to everybody, and we'll see you all here next week on Air and Outdoors with TLC Outfitters. Thank you all very much.
Eastern Kentucky, where I was raised, where the wildlife and mountains call my name. I was born to hunt, I was born to guide, a camouflage on a rifle by my side. Just good old country boys chasing dreams in the Appalachian Mountains, fields and streams. From those white-tailed bucks strutting toms, the bugling elks that are on the run. Where those dreams are made, the trophies is our game. The TLC Outfitters is our name.